Welcome, dear reader. Today, I'm going to share with you a story. Not just any story, but one that might touch your heart and maybe even bring tears to your eyes. It's about hope, loss, failure, and the power to rise again. This story is about a person who went from having nothing, not even a home, to becoming a millionaire in just 5 years. As you read, I hope you feel the emotions, the struggles, and the victories hidden between the lines. There's a beautiful thought I'd like to start with. Sometimes life breaks you not to destroy you, but to build you stronger than you ever thought you could be. Let's begin. I wasn't always a millionaire. In fact, there was a time when I didn't even have a bed to sleep on. My name is Alex Carter, and this is the story of how I went from homeless to millionaire in 5 years. A journey filled with heartbreak, loss, and unexpected hope. I grew up in a small town in Ohio. My family was like any other. My dad worked 2 jobs to keep food on the table, and my mom stayed home to care for me and my little sister Emily. Emily was my best friend. She had the brightest smile, like sunshine in human form. But life isn't always fair. When I was 19, just after high school, Emily got sick. Really sick. We didn't have enough money for the treatment she needed. I remember sitting by her hospital bed, holding her fragile hand, promising her that I'd always protect her. But I couldn't keep that promise. She passed away on a cold October morning. I was there, but I wasn't ready. I never got to say all the things I wanted to say. I thought I had more time. That day broke something inside me. I felt empty, lost. My family fell apart after that. My parents drifted away in their grief, and I just ran. I left home, thinking I could escape the pain. But grief doesn't stay in one place. It follows you like a shadow. I moved to Chicago with nothing but a backpack, believing I'd find a job, start over, maybe even forget. But life in a big city isn't kind to dreamers with empty pockets. I ended up homeless. Imagine sleeping on cold sidewalks while people walk past you like you're invisible. I remember one winter night when I had no blanket, no coat, just a thin sweatshirt. The wind felt like knives. I cried that night, not just from the cold, but from the crushing loneliness. I missed Emily so much it hurt to breathe. I tried to find work, but without an address, without clean clothes. Who would hire me? Days turned into weeks. My stomach growled more often than it stayed silent. I felt like I was disappearing. Then something happened. One morning, I was sitting outside a cafe, hoping someone would give me leftovers. A man named Mr. Thompson walked by. He didn't just glance at me. He saw me. He stopped, looked me in the eyes, and asked, "Are you okay?" No one had asked me that in months. I didn't know what to say. Mr. Thompson was a businessman. Instead of just giving me money, he did something even greater. He gave me a chance. He told me to meet him at his office the next day. I didn't. believe him at first. Why would a stranger help me? But something inside me, maybe Emily's voice, told me to go. I cleaned up as best as I could at a public restroom, showed up at his office, and he gave me a job. It wasn't glamorous, just cleaning floors, but it was a start. Working there changed me. I wasn't just earning money, I was rebuilding myself. Mr. Thompson became my mentor. He saw potential in me even when I couldn't. He taught me about business, investments, and most importantly, about believing in myself. But success wasn't easy. I faced failure after failure. I invested in small things. Some worked, some didn't. I lost money. I doubted myself. There were nights I cried, thinking maybe I was meant to be a failure. But every time I wanted to give up, I remembered Emily's smile. I promised her I'd protect her, but maybe I could honor her by protecting her memory. Year after year, I worked harder. I saved every penny, learned everything I could about business, and eventually started my own small company, selling simple products online. The first year was tough. I barely made enough to survive. But I kept going. Then, in the third year, something changed. One of my products went viral. Sales skyrocketed. I hired a small team, expanded, reinvested, and watched as my tiny business grew into something I never dreamed possible. By the 5th year, I wasn't just surviving, I was thriving. I had become a millionaire. But money isn't the real success. The real success was walking back to the cemetery where Emily was buried, kneeling beside her grave and whispering, "I did it, Em. I made it." I cried that day. Not because I was sad, but because I finally felt like I had made her proud. Looking back, I realized that the most valuable lessons came from my darkest days. Pain doesn't mean it's over. It's part of the journey. Kindness matters. Mr. Thompson's small act of kindness changed my life. You're stronger than you think. Even when you feel broken, you can rebuild. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a step toward it. Hope is powerful. Even when all you have left is hope, that's enough. So, if you're reading this and you're struggling, feeling lost, or thinking you can't make it, remember my story. You're not alone. You're not invisible. And no matter how dark it gets, there's always a way forward. Sometimes, the biggest victories come from the deepest struggles, and sometimes, all it takes is one person to believe in you, until you can believe in yourself. Thank you for reading.